how truly mature and democratic our elections are. With democratic elections defined as, quote, an equal opportunity for every qualified voter to cast a ballot and to have the ballot counted, unquote, is a simple criteria. There are two types of governance problems that attended the 2010 elections. Number one are the perennial problems: the late promulgation of rules, regulations, and guidelines, disenfranchisement from the effective voters list, delays in the delivery or the non-delivery of election paraphernalia, inadequate training of teachers and COMELEC field personnel, inadequate voter education, irregularities in procedures. Sounds like the barangay elections as well. Most are procedural. But since elections is a process, procedures partake of the substance of suffrage. These governance problems can all be solved with better management. But the point is that they were more pronounced in 2010 because of the almost single-handed preoccupation of the COMELEC with automation. In a way, the lack of attention to the details of operations was a casualty of that environment. The second governance problems pertains to the special concerns, namely, A, warlords, private armies, and the use of legal arms for violence. Number two, disenfranchisement and the low registration rate of overseas workers. Number three, the flawed implementation of a flawed party list system. D, corruption. These concerns required longer-term thinking, full staff work, and relentless advocacy, which the present COMELEC does not appear disposed to do. When added to the complex and largely unanticipated problem of alternation, reforms in these areas were also left unattended and may remain so until there is a major changing of the guard at the COMELEC. Warlords, private armies, goons with legal arms, and command boats. I will skip some of the areas here. You can read them in the website. Let me just say, command boat, while mainly a function of legal arms and private armies, is also about the use of money by the powerful, mostly government money, which in the context of the poverty and feudalistic conditions in our country is another form of voter coercion. The fact is that every opposition group denounces command boats until it is their turn in power. The vicious cycle must be broken, and according to the military, the solution is simple. Don't issue licenses and permits to the goons of political allies, and do not legitimize them as government paramilitary. It's the politicians, they say, including those in Malacanang, who asked for this. And the task of the military is made more difficult when the Secretary of Defense is a former military man. A key recommendation of both the Davide and the Feliciano Commissions on depoliticalizing the military is to appoint a civilian as Secretary of Defense. The administration did not follow this. In that light, we might ask the administration if it's prepared to finally break the vicious cycle on warlordism, private armies, and command boats. Disenfranchisement and overseas absentee voting. We cannot call our elections democratic until all those who are qualified are first registered. The first source is the effective voters list. The solution of an incremental registration with biometric registration is correct. The second source of disenfranchisement are automated related, and the estimates are about 2 or maybe 3 million. Those who were not given a second ballot or did not vote because of the congestion at the polling place. The third source of disenfranchisement, and the most serious one, is low registration rate of overseas workers, described as persons who stay overseas is related to job contracts, numbering about 3.6 million. I really do not care much about the citizens of convenience, since their roots are are deeper in the countries of their residence. Sorry. The number registered in 2010 is 589,830, of which only 153,323 voted, which is a turnout rate of 4.2%. This is unacceptable because the problem is solvable. The first step is to require a voter's registration for the issuance of a passport. In 5 years, all OFWs will be registered. The second step is to allow all of them to vote by mail, which is what everyone else does. The likelihood is that these voters will cast an intelligent vote and will not sell it. The disenfranchisement arising from these three causes is about 5 to 6.5 million, which is totally unacceptable. The party list system. The system has been relatively successful as an experiment on proportional representation and as a mechanism for a truly representative House, and that should not be abolished. But the system is getting out of hand because of the flawed implementation of a flawed law, because of flawed Supreme Court decisions. The law must be amended, or the Supreme Court must revisit its decision. But even without the changes, the COMELEC can improve the system by stricter rules against the proliferation of single-issue parties and parties with no distinctive platforms, and against the nominees of convenience. Corruption. One of the biggest problems in elections is the use of government money for partisan purposes, and it has become worse. It has been democratized through a patronage and pork barrel system down to the leakages in the IRA at the barangay level. Only a clean executive can provide the key to the solution of this problem. With respect to corruption in the COMELEC itself, it was particularly problematic in 2010 because there was a lot of money to spend, and to spend quickly. The total budget was a mouth-watering 16.5 billion. One corruption technique, I am informed, was to delay decisions until they are too urgent to allow proper scrutiny. When I asked the high-ranking COMELEC officials why certain transactions were rushed, he said, "Kung gusto mong mag-magic, kailangan mabilis ang kamay mo." A questionable contract, for example, is the packing and forwarding of ballot boxes and official ballots, which cost about 1.1 billion, and which was not bidded out. It was a negotiated contract with Smartmatic, which would not have been qualified to bid because it is not in that business, and which subcontracted the work anyway. COMELEC itself has years of experience in transporting these items. What is Smartmatic's value added to this activity? In the 700 million purchase of ballot folders, which was successfully aborted, 6 officials of the COMELEC, including Executive Director Tolentino, have been suspended and recommended for prosecution. Third is the matter of the twin constitutional functions of the COMELEC, the management function and the quasi-judicial function. In a lengthy focus group discussion a year ago, included 3 constitutional commissioners, Father Bernas, Justice Ascuna, and myself, it was agreed that a constitutional amendment would be useful, but that even without a constitutional amendment, it's still possible to rationalize the powers by operationally separating the 2 functions with commissioners of appropriate capacities in charge. Where do we go from here? The automation project actually started in 1992. Automation was supposed to address the problem of too much human intervention, which made the system vulnerable to human error or fraud, especially during the canvassing. The COMELEC decided then that the antidote was automation.